your property insurance rates. This is globally, nationwide, what affects every property insurance rate. Profitability. What's the insurance company's results? How are their claims? Reinsurance. Reinsurance is probably not something most people thought about or know about, but it's really impacting the insurance market today more than ever. We'll touch on that. Projections. What do the insurance companies think they're going to have from a claim standpoint for each individual area, type of business? State regulations. And then how many carriers are writing the type of business that you're looking to insure? More carriers, more competition, keeps the rates down. And then lastly, each individual property exposure in your own claims history. Unfortunately for everybody in this room or that purchases insurance, this is really the only one that you have a direct effect over. Everything else is out of your control. So I'm going to talk about kind of what's going on with all these things that are unfortunately out of your control. These are a few articles from the past year, and none of them are very good results. You can see nationwide, the US reached double the average tornado losses in a single year last year. The property and casualty insurance market lost $32 billion in the first 9 months of the year. Those are not great results. And the US has seen a record number of weather disasters. Other events, again, uniquely impact. Uniquely impact. Well, I know it might not feel this way when you're paying the insurance premiums, but as a comparison to the country, we've had historically low insurance rates. This is a projection for 2024 of home insurance prices. Home insurance is the easiest way to compare apples to apples when we're talking premiums. But a $250,000 home insured in Iowa is projected in 2024 to be about $1,600. Of course, that'll depend on where you're at and a lot of factors, but if you look at the projected home insurance rate for Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, states that have similar weather-related losses that Iowa now has, you'd be paying $4,500 in Nebraska, $4,300 in Oklahoma, and almost $4,000 in Kansas. So, historically, we've been in the bottom 10 of the states premium-wise. We also have better coverages than a lot of states with state-regulated replacement cost and matching exteriors, bundled causes of loss, and flat deductibles. But again, in the past couple of years, Iowa's results have not warranted those low premiums. This is up to 2022, but 2023 is not going to be any better. Iowa's loss ratio, which is just comparison of how much they paid in claims versus how much they brought in premium, has exceeded the US average. Will be 4 years in a row now. To get a few more specifics here, this is an insurance program in the state of Iowa, hundreds of different similar organizations with large property exposure. You can see from 2002 to 2010, they averaged $8.5 million of losses per year. We jumped to 2016 to 2022, they're averaging $60 million in losses per year. It's a 700% increase in losses over a 20-year period. Even if you look at the lowest in the past 6 years, $33 million, that's 3 times what the highest loss year was from 2002 to 2010. So, top 10 states for the highest claims, unfortunately, does not continue to equal the top 10 states for lowest premiums. The math just doesn't work out. So I mentioned reinsurance. I know this is very exciting, but there is a reason to talk about it. What is it? Simple answer. It's insurance for the insurance companies. It's good business practice for the insurance companies to do. It's also mandated by the state and federal regulations. What is happening? It's nothing good. The insurance companies' rates are going up 40 to 75%. And the biggest impact is reinsurance companies are stopping, they're getting out of the market for reinsuring insurance companies that do business in Iowa. In particular, smaller mutual insurance companies. This is from the Des Moines Register. It's an article in July last year. Couple quotes here. Large reinsurance firms are pulling out of Iowa after a string of natural disasters, jeopardizing coverage for the state's small town farmers and residents. Grinnell Mutual, who provided reinsurance for a lot of different insurance companies, confirmed that they will no longer reinsure some companies, and they're planning on raising rates 40%. Farmers Mutual Hail Company told policyholders last week they will no longer reinsure county mutual insurance associations. These small property and casualty firms have covered Iowa rural areas since the 1800s. This is clearly a big change to the insurance market from what we've had over the past 200 years. So if we're going to talk the trends, what does this mean for 2024? With the small mutual companies, they're facing unprecedented pressures. It's going to threaten their ability to survive. Hopefully they can find different ways, find different reinsurance, but there's definitely going to be a lot of pressure on those small mutual insurance companies in the state of Iowa. Larger regional carriers, we've already seen a number of those carriers discontinue operations in Iowa. Pekin and Salina are just 2 of the dozen different carriers that we have worked with that are either leaving the state entirely or they're just canceling certain types of policies with property heavy exposures. So again, we'll go through what's this mean. These are some things that we have seen personally in our agency from different insurance companies that we work with, what they're going to do in 2024. Carriers are getting out of hog confinements. They are just out of the market. Carriers that have done them for decades, generations, they're canceling all of those policies. Poultry operations, same thing. Large property exposures, they're going to be canceling all of those policies. A lot of increased restrictions on the type of property that they will cover, where they will cover it, how old of a property they will cover, or just requiring a lot more information on updates and what's going on with the property. Deductibles are going to be a big change too. The days of a $500 deductible on your property are going away. They're going to be looking for, the way that they say it, kind of cost sharing property coverage more with the policyholder than they ever have had to before. Cosmetic damage exclusions on metal buildings. Many carriers are going to actual cash value, which means they're not going to pay you the replacement cost. They're going to pay you a depreciated amount on how, depending on how old the property is. And if you couldn't have guessed it, we're expecting to see premiums increase, fortunately. So I wish I had something good to come up here and tell you, but they told me to come up here and tell you the truth, and that's what I'm unfortunately having to do here. So the outlook on property insurance, hopefully for each individual out there, it's not this big of a change, but it's definitely things that we're seeing in the insurance market. And since I couldn't just leave you with bad news on the property, I'm just leaving you with one more slide. Auto in the industry is also seeing a lot of pressure. The auto industry, from a commercial auto insurance standpoint, has lost money in 11 of the last 12 years. Fortunately for Iowa, we have not seen as dramatic of a comparative negative results compared to the rest of the country. So hopefully we're not seeing as big of a change from the insurance carrier standpoint. But when they lose money 11 of 12 years, something's going to have to change. And we're expecting to see some premium increases on the auto line as well. So I've come to tell you all of that, and wish you the best of luck with the insurance going forward. Best I can do. So